And now we have started the second recording of our Mouse Guard session with your host, me, the enigmatic 4, who's not muted this time. Let me repeat all that once more, very quickly. Oh my god.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Following that, hello, we are playing Mouse Guard, which is a fantastic role-playing game about mice. Mice that live in a big world where the normal things that would trouble, us in a minor way, like, I have to walk in the rain, or, there's a raccoon in my trash can. It's just as worse for the mice, because that raccoon is instead digging its grubby little paws into your street, picking you up, and then and the storm is washing you out of your horrible raccoon-infested home. And on top of that, you have to walk to the next town over, which is several days' travel. How are you going to survive? That's where the Mouse Guard come in! The Mouse Guard is this fantastic faction of... I'm glad I'm doing this the second time around. It's so much more exciting. The Mouse Guard are virtuous brave mice who fight for all mice of the territories. With knowledge, sword, and shield, they ensure that everything is peachy for our very, very, very incredibly, absolutely, tragically tiny mice. One of the ways that we're going to start this session is, to introduce our players and their characters, because I feel like we're running in circles now.
I was just impressed with all of those adjectives that you used. Adorable.
Adorable.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Tiny. The mice, yeah.
Well, let's see if you have such gusto for wordplay as you introduce your characters. Granny, could you introduce Phil again? I'm very sorry.
It's okay. That's just because you're a super professional streamer. Anyways, I am playing Philomena Mayweather. Call her Phil. She is a she has black fur and she wears purple cloak. And her belief is that the safety and well-being of all mouse kind comes first, and she will do whatever it takes to keep her fellow mice safe.
Most excellent. And what rank are you actually? Guard mouse?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's move on to another guard mouse. I think we'll go to Brahms. Will you tell us about Elric really quick?
Sure. Elric is a red fur. He grew up in the Weasel War as a Tenderpaw, and he has a forest green cloak that has a hood. And his belief is that cleverness, when applied properly, can bring down the most powerful foes.
Most excellent. Hopefully with the pointy end. And then we go to the other way to bring down your biggest nasty foes, Miss Ida. Abigator, tell us about your mouse.
Oh, well, the mouse I'm going to be playing today, her name is Ida, and she is a blonde fur. She has a gray cloak, and she loves nothing more than to spend time in her library, organizing books, collecting different tomes. However, sometimes the guards mice are like, we need you to go on a mission, and she's like, okay. So last we saw her, she was actually on a mission that involved a Grandma Biddy that we know very well and all hate very much, to try to get some fire ants to die or to move someplace. And unfortunately, while saving one of her fellow patrol guards, she got rather badly hurt by these fire ants.
Ooh.
So, as a result, she was held up for a couple of weeks. She now has these nasty welt scars kind of all over her. She's very scarred, which she's not quite used to. So, we'll see how she deals with that this session.
All right. And that's another thing. This is a community Mouse Guard game, so we want to teach everybody who wants to learn, everyone who wants to give role-playing in this setting a shot, by all means you can join. We have a special Discord link right in the chat for you. There we go. Or you could go down below and figure out more about what's going on with our community mouse guard game, how you can join, and, you know, if you want to catch up, that's fine. But this is sort of meant for people to jump in and just have fun, so let's go ahead and do that right away. Tapper's Point. Tapper's Point has been busy as of late. In the past latter half of summer, you guys have realized it has become a town of its own now that the scent border has been extended. And not only that, the authority of who runs Tapper's Point is no longer in the guards' hands. However, that does not mean the guards' duty is to be neglected. And that is what the three of you realize upon this morning. You are summoned to Guard Captain Arabelle's office. Do you? Yeah, I figure I figure Elric and Ida know each other, but this might be your first time interacting with Phil. So, do you guys have anything?
You guys are my best friends.
Thanks, Grinny, for that host. And do you have anything to say to her before we venture inside this this no doubt tense office situation?
As I see her, having seen a lot of new guards mites kind of come in and not really, it's just at this point it's kind of old news, like new. Purple Cloak, what's your name?
Me? I am Philomena. You can call me Phil.
Okay. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
And you are...
Etta, you probably heard of me.
I think I may have.
Librarian.
Yes.
You can come visit me if you want some books or whatever. You know.
And you probably heard of me, famous hunter, Elric.
Doesn't sound familiar. But I have heard of you.
Elric hangs his head.
And at that, the door opens, and Guard Captain Arabelle is standing there, from peering out from the crack, and sort of gives you all a look, and then says, "If you want to gossip outside my door, do it when I'm not here." She sort of lets it fall open as she goes back to her seat behind her desk. And Guard Captain Arabelle's office, if you've been in here before, as always, it's crisp, it's clean, it's full of nothing at all. Unlike Quincy's office, there is no clutter, it has been like this since she has gotten here, you get the feel like. Not an inch has changed. Save for maybe the new array of legal documents that now fill one side of her desk. She sits down and notes this map of the territory, this very well-detailed section where Tapper's Point is the focal point, and the rest of the territories on the left are sort of like, they're less detailed than what lies east. And she beckons all of you to have a seat.
Thank you, Guard Captain.
Thank you, and I have a seat.
So, we've come to a realization that Tapper's Point relies too much on the guard currently. We're going to help them so that they do not owe us such favors and fealty. Miss Ida.
Yes.
You've done an exceptional job in ensuring that the town has a working library.
Thank you.
Starting upon when you return this mission, it will be relinquished from your administration to two Port Sumac mice, who are you to retrieve and escort back.
Is there a reason for this switch of ownership?
Given that you are a mouse guard, and given that you are possibly the only mouse in Tapper's Point that understands how that library is organized and is to be organized. I would like it if you were not out of commission, like your last mission. Sort of noting the leftover welts on your body. Your duty as a guard's mouse goes first.
I'm sorry for that. Is there no way to...
There is one small, like, shrug. Wow. Quincy, trying out the new murder bike.
Going by with blue flowers.
Yeah.
Just, like, trailing behind.
God, Captain Arabelle, look what I brought. She gives this little shrug of her cloak. It's the only sympathetic gesture of discomfort that you've seen from her in a long time. And Guard Captain Arabelle sort of gives you a small, like, reassurance. You'll be aiding them, these two mice, siblings, in restructuring the library. It needs to be an archive. Now, you should be grateful. We're getting many almanacs out of this. But Sumac has been rather tight about its knowledge. Not only that, it's a good trades hub. This deal gives us a lot of leeway. And again, your duty as a guard's mouse goes first. I'm sorry. Perhaps when you get back to Lockhaven, you can request to be a senior artisan a little earlier than usual. Elric, I am sending you along with Philomena as well. You two are to protect. And you see her hesitate as she sort of chooses her words for a second too long and says, "The archivists on their mission."
Very well.
You'll find them in Port Sumac. Their names are Derry and Constance. They're brown furs.
Very well. Now, may I speak with you privately after this meeting?
She does let out a little gust of. She kind of has had this happen a lot, and she says, "Are there any other questions?"
I have no questions.
Will we be setting out tomorrow morning?
You'd be setting out immediately if you're able to.
Yes, of course.
Very
thank
well.
you, Guard Captain. And with that, he just stands up and quickly rushes out. Just can't handle like being in front of these people anymore. She needs to get out right now.
All right.
And
Phil, what do you
I'm
do?
gonna follow because I can sense something's not okay with Ada, and also really am not a fan of awkward situations. So I feel like if I sit here any longer while Elric is trying to have his moment with our Captain Arabelle, it's just gonna be like weird. So I'm gonna get up
Ooh, you know it.
and I'm gonna bow. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do in these situations.
She gives you like a salute, but it's a small gesture. Her focus is now entirely on Elric.
Elric just looks directly at the guard captain, eyeing her like unflinchingly, and he says to her, "It's like, now, guard captain, you are aware of the chain of command, are you not?"
Being that I'm the top of the chain of command, yes.
In Tapper's Point, that's correct. However, this business with the fox that happened earlier this summer, just so you know, you would be directly responsible for your subordinates' actions for that particular incident. Now, from my understanding, with that chain of command, you would be vicariously responsible for Quincy's mishandling of the situation. And not only has he not been disciplined, he's been given more authority. Now, I understand that you are under, pressure from the matriarch, but chain of command dictates that you should have done something for that particular incident on its occurrence, but nothing had been done. Do you care to enlighten me on why this turn of events has not been addressed?
Mr. Alec Bramblethorn, yes?
That's correct. He's still looking at her unflinchingly.
At the very least, you are not a loyalist. Is not Quincy... Was not he once a Tenderpaw same as you?
That's correct.
Did you not have the same mentor?
We did. My point is, chain of command is a higher calling than any sort of friendship you may have. It needs to be followed.
And she does this little... This strange knowing laugh, without... It's sort of muffled, as her whiskers twitch slightly. And she just folds her paws in front of her, and she says... If you are understanding that what's happened is inaction, rather complacence on my part, then perhaps you don't understand how the mouse guard works, how it really operates. Maybe I can teach you.
I'm listening.
Dismissed.
Very well. And Elric turns and bows and steps out of the office.
And as you put your paw on the handle, she says, "Do you think the guard should have a vote? In the coming election, I mean. There's certainly a lot of us here."
I believe that the guard's voice should be heard in this case, as we have been protecting Tapper's Point and its constituents.
And she turns back to her paperwork. And you leave the office, and that is where the GM's turn starts. When do you guys want to leave? Is there anything you want to do prior to that?
Elric, she is going to eat you alive. She is going to chop off your head and scalp you, and she is going to mount your head as a trophy in her office. I cannot believe you did that.
We'll see.
Or...
Please don't make me channel Druida right now.
Now, yes, I actually wanted to stop off and see Abby. I'm assuming she's heading to the library.
You assume. Is he correct?
Oh, yes, he's correct.
Damn!
How did you know? Oh my goodness.
Now, what do I find Etta doing at this point?
Phil is there as well, I expect.
Yeah.
I am... you kind of look around, there's bookshelves. She's in one of the corners behind a couple of bookshelves, just kind of leaning against a wall with her little tiny mouse head in her hands, breathing very, very hard and very obviously trying to calm herself and to center herself. Just not really paying much attention to like anything around her.
And okay, since I see Phil there, I just calmly go over to Phil and say, "Phil, can you give us a minute?"
I'm gonna go over here and look at the books.
She literally just goes behind, like goes into the next aisle over,
It's like peeking through the stacks.
peeking through the stacks. What's happening?
What's going on?
So,
I might also like climb to the top and like peek over the top of the bookshelf.
Yes, please.
Okay.
okay.
All right.
So, Elric goes over to Edda and says to her, just in kind of a sort of levity, but trying to break the tension. I was wondering if you'd be able to find me a book on the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow.
Not right now. Give me a few minutes.
Okay, well, I sighed, but okay, I want to let you know something. I need you to look at me for a second. That understand that this doesn't come easily to me. What I do out there in front of everyone else is meant to do one thing, and that's spur them forward to complete the mission.
Alaric, I don't know what you're doing here, and I don't know why you're talking to me. We're gonna do the mission. We're gonna bring these mice in. It'll be good, because we'll get new books in the collection. I'll have some help around here. I will still be around, but right now I really need you not to talk to me.
Okay. Then I won't talk. Let me do something. He turns you around, just so you're looking at him. I might not be good with scrolls and books like you are, but I am good with these, and he holds up his hands. Pause. And then what he does is you see something drop from his hands. And what you see is a locket. And it's in the shape of a book. And what I say next is, now you are one of the most intelligent and beautiful mice I've ever seen. I want you to take this. And I understand that you haven't been with your sister very often when you're out there. And he hands you the locket.
And Edda just starts laughing hysterically, turns her back and walks around, still laughing. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you for these kind words. Maybe not the exact right situation. And she's crying and she's laughing and Elric, I'm really sorry. If it were another time, I would be more eloquent. I have not known you for long. I do not know anything about you, and you know nothing about me. I am sorry. No. Just no. We need to leave. And with that, she turns and she walks off. I'm so sorry. It's just how Edda is. That was so good. I'm sorry.
So you didn't take the locket?
I did not take the locket. I know. It's Edda.
Bill,
You came to her.
this is like Dawson's Creek right here.
It's like Dawson's Creek.
It's
I'm
like
sorry.
I've been hearing
In
everybody
another
talk.
life.
Nah, nobody knows. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna need a Pathfinder check to get to Port Sumac. You also need to get some goals for this session as well. Sort of think about what you would like to accomplish either in the GM's turn related to the mission or in your player's turn. Because remember, you always get one check for the player's turn to do whatever you want.
This is gonna be a good session.
I'm
liking
feeling
where
like
this
it,
is
yeah.
going so far.
No spoilers.
No, a little tiny spoiler.
No, there's gonna be books. No!
I swear, if these mouse that you hired in are incompetent, I'm not going to be very happy.
How dare you?
Oh,
You think I
jeez.
would not put proper librarians into this, obviously, this temple of knowledge you have built for Tapper's Point?
I swear, if they switch over to Dewy Light, I'm going to throw something. I'm just quitting altogether.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and give us a Pathfinder check to see if you can meet these mice, see if they're up to your standards.
Let's see. Shut up.
Does anybody
I've got
have
a-
Pathfinder? Who here has
I've got
Pathfinder?
I do.
I have a 3.
I got a 5.
You have a
You got a
5.
better. You got a. Yeah, you're a good pathfinder.
I can pathfind things.
Well,
You
who
can
wants
find
who wants to help?
I should be able to help. I also have pathfinder, but what do you have?
I have Pathfinder, and I have a 3 in Pathfinder, and I have Survivalist, which I also have a 3 in Survivalist, if that would work.
I've also got a 2 in survivalist and 2 in scout.
So I think if Elric scouts and Phil takes up the survivalist role to make sure you guys have ample water and shelter, I think this will work just fine. So you have 2 helping dice. It's going to be obstacle 3 to get to Port Sumac.
Oh, heck yes. So I've got 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Find it easily.
You find the hell out of that.
Fantastically. So you've been to Port Sumac. Who here has been to Port Sumac?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Well, it is quite a sight. It's sort of built on the shoals of the shoreline, as you can see right here. Its various docks and ports are numerous, and it seems to be quite a roughhouse sort of establishment in territories. You immediately get the sense that these mice that you need to find are probably in a place where possible trade maps and various other stuff happens. So what we need to do now is, because you successfully did that, what we'll need to do now is just do a quick circles check to see if you can ask around and divine where these archivists might be in town. Just to sort of see if you know the right people to point you in the right direction.
I got a circles of 2, but
So do I.
Yeah, we're all guards mice, so we all have circles of 2.
Well, in that case, we just need someone to lead this check, since you all have 2. Now, luckily, because this is an ability check, you would be able to just help with, whatever. But you'll have to describe that possibly when we get to the check. So, who wants to lead?
I will.
thank you for stepping up on this one.
Yep.
All right. So you're getting 2 helping dice. So that means you have 4. Do you want to use a trait to help you? Do you think you have a trait that could help?
Hold on. I don't.
Let me see.
All I have, my traits are bold, independent, and fiery. So
You could take the bold trait and use that to help you, because Port Sumac is it is a port for some unsavory folk, and being a mouse guard, you realize, well, they might not like me. But you could just say, well, no, we need to do this, and so Philomena sort of emboldens herself.
if that's the case, then I will most definitely use that.
Alrighty, so you're looking for archivists. There are probably several cartographers and other establishments. What does Philomena do as she's sort of asking around? Are you seeing these 2 brown furred mice, Daria and Constance?
So she's gonna walk around, and she's gonna have this crudely drawn picture of 2 mice, and it's just gonna look like stick figures, but in mice form. And she's gonna be like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for these 2 archivist mice. I've already forgotten their names, but
I think that's the helping dice.
Yes.
Yep.
Have you seen a pair of mice that look like this? And she's just showing this picture, and a lot of people are giving her they're giving her looks, and they're very confused because the drawings don't look like mice, but she is very persistent that this is what these mice look like, and she's very persistent, and she's just like, come on, you've had to have seen somebody. They're supposed to be here.
All right.
Is it
Yeah.
5 with the trait?
Yeah, I think you have a total of 5 dice. And the obstacle is going to be 2 this time around.
One more time, what's their names so I can write them down?
Derry and Constance.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was remembering dairy by remembering derriere.
Derriere.
Constance.
Lovely. All right, let's see if you can yell. Hey!
Boom boom.
Ba-boom!
I did it!
Alrighty. Being the new mouse in town, you quickly use that cloak and your expert drawing skills to sort of hunt down these mice. With the various dock workers, as well as richer mice who handle in exports and such, you're able to get an idea, well, where is the library? Where are these mice that would work at this library? You get the idea that they work somewhere in the district that handles a lot of the imports. So they're sort of like the ones who double check the inventory and whatnot. And as you go into this one building, and all it says is Dockside Imports. You go inside, and inside there are 3 mice, one of which is a gray fur, who is in a desk in the far corner, and working various shelves and placing some scrolls in certain spots and binding them together are 2 brown mice. Both of them look fairly young. And this place, although it's not big, it seems to house a lot of coming and going imports and exports, as well as trails and tracks on what's being shipped and who's bringing it in, as well as other things. What do you do?
Despite herself, Etta can't help but to be impressed with kind of what's going on, and so she's going to stand back and look at the 2 brown mice and see how they work for a little bit, just to, absorb some stuff.
Okay. Oh. Diligently is your first impression. They appear to know where everything is in this space. And they move with expedience, but they don't hurry too much. They know they have all day to do this. So you think. And after a while, one of them looks up and notices you're there, and sort of walks over and says, "Oh, guards mice, what are you doing here?"
We've been instructed by the guard captain to bring you back to Tapper's Point to take charge of the library.
Okay, God. And this mouse, who is a male mouse, is very excited and sort of turns and
Just to make
the
sure,
brown
you are
mouse.
Derry and Constance, correct?
Oh yeah, Constance.
Okay.
Come on, Constance. Ah! And he's just exasperated all of a sudden, and she is likewise. She sort of comes up in a hurry, a bundle of scrolls in her arms, and she just lets them drop on the floor. And goes, "Oh, this is excellent, Daddy. We're going home. Well, like an actual home, not a festering pit of." And you hear the gray mouse in the back sort of yelling out, "Hey, you watch your mouth, Miss Kids. You finish your work, and then you get your butts out of here." And Derry goes, "Of course. Be happy to. You don't mind if you have a seat and we get everything in order. We have a little cart a little ways away. It's in storage. We'll be ready to go at any moment, alright?
You guys need help at all?
Oh, no! We're fine. We have everything packed up. And his sibling sort of perks up and says, well, we do have to make a pickup a little ways down, but thankfully it won't be too long before we get everything set. We're ready to go once we finish here. And she's sort of picking up a pile of scrolls.
Okay, then.
Very well.
Phil's standing off to the side with her art, with her drawing, and she's holding it up, and she's looking at the mice, and she's like, I guess it's not that bad.
I go up to her and I'm like, yeah.
Alrighty. You guys are going to set out after a little while for the sake of expediency and not, putting too much effort into Port Sumac. They're going to lead you to what looks like sort of like a rented stable house where they get a cart and Cadence is the one who sort of takes the lead of the cart, or Constance rather. And Derry sort of ensures that everything is in place. That's not going to fall off during the trip. It's a big cart, and you also notice that it's not full. It has room for a lot more, surprisingly.
And it's filled with different scrolls and stuff?
It is, and books as well.
I'm gonna, before we leave while they're setting everything up, I'm gonna kind of go in and I'm gonna dig through them and see what I got, and see what we got.
So this is actually a treasure trove, because some of the stuff you've been getting from Port Sumac has just been they haven't gypped you, but they've given you secondhand accounts and journals and scrolls from before the Winter War. It's pretty dated. These are like texts and binded books and sets of almanacs and encyclopedias on various things. You can find a set of illustrated herbs from Elmos, which is actually very, very helpful.
Okay. This might hole. That was the sound that Adam makes. And seeing all of these.
All right. And,
it was totally worth it.
Oh yeah.
Looking back, yes. Okay, we needed this. It's okay.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And Constance notices that you're looking through it, and she immediately goes, don't worry. We've got everything there. Well, everything we could get our grubby paws on,
Oh.
And you hear Derry sort of from under the wagon as he's making sure stuff is strapped, and the tarp and the blankets that they are bringing with them. He sort of mumbles, well, not everything. We still got. And you hear her go, shh, Daddy, we have to get going.
I look at her and I tilt my head and I raise my eyebrows.
Oh, it's nothing. We're just going to pick up some things along the way. There's a fig tree not too far. We think it'll make a good snack time, we think. It's good stuff.
Is this anything that we should be worried about?
No, I don't think so.
Don't think so, or you don't know so?
Well, no, it's not. And then you hear a pelt of thunder. And it is going to start to rain.
How long will this take us out of our way?
She sort of goes, no, it's actually going to be better, because from the looks of it, the rain is going to wash the road out, so Fig Tree is a good stopping point, methinks. For shelter, until the worst of it wears away.
Okay. Constance. I help cover the tarp over to protect the books.
And with that, we're going to need scout check to make sure that you can get where you need to go without running into anything nasty or.
Not I. I have 0.
I have a scout of 2. Scout of 1?
No, it's probably going to be 2.
Yeah.
Elric or Ida?
I'll take a shot.
Okay.
Got this.
Ida and Phil, how are you helping?
I think with is it an option with the rain and the weather to use my survivalist of 3 to help?
Sort of keep an eye out for particular roads that maybe aren't,
Yep.
as dilapidated as this rain begins.
I'm gonna climb up on the top of the cart and kind of like a pirate in the crow's nest, just be looking from on top of the cart.
Oh, that's so adorable. Cloak waving in the wind.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, Ida.
I think I'm gonna use Pathfinder. Or no, I'll just use Scout to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these 2 siblings are going to help as well. You're going to get 1 dice from them. It's going to be a versus test. Fortunately, the cat is on the keyboard. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Do you want to use a trait on this?
Let me see here. I think I'll use clever in this case because, yeah, I think clever will work.
How are you using
because-
clever to do this?
Well, in this case, you look at since we're doing a scout check, I've got to be extra on the ball, and then I have to figure out each specific way that I'm going to each specific path that I might be looking at, just to make sure we're not going to, go into a hole or something that might damage the cart. So you have to be extra clever in order to do that. Otherwise, you're going to not pay as close attention if you're not being as clever.
Agreed. Ida and Phil. Phil, you already know. I already know how you're helping. Onwards.
Yeah.
Ida, how are you keeping an eye out in this rain?
I'm trying to make sure that 1, we are kind of staying on the path, and 2, I'm kind of looking around to make sure nothing nasty is coming out, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to have a visibility, and there's rain, it creates extra sound. I don't want anything sneaking up on us.
And from there, you can go ahead and roll, sir. I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
All right. Hey!
Ooh.
Yay!
Yay!
No!
That was a versus test.
Yep.
Do you want to try to use a fate point to reroll that 6?
Let's see, how many do I got? Yeah, I think I'm going to. I got 5 right now, so I might as well.
It's a failure otherwise, sir.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely was reading 4's 5 successes as our win, which is why I got excited. I realize now that
Yay! Yay!
We did it! No! Onwards! All right, everybody is going to be hungry and thirsty.
No,
I am already extra hungry and thirsty.
I thought we were going to find the figs.
You do find the fig tree. It does provide you some shelter after that grueling trek. I'm gonna say you guys are probably like somewhere around like right here. Like it's a little ways off. But as you sort of are taking shelter here, you definitely notice that as camp is being set up and the 2 siblings are making sure that the tarp is covering the books so they don't get wet, you do notice that they eventually start pulling the cart deeper under the fig, like, the overhead, just because the rain is just pelting.
Yeah.
And then you see them start to climb and inspect some of the branches.
Are you staying in the branches?
Oh, it's an old family trade, Cadence says as Constance. I keep as she is sort of like inspecting between some of the branches where they meet, and she says, just some good old. Oh dear, where is it? And you hear Derry perk up and say, "Oh, it's moonshine." You know, from the figs.
Yeah.
I don't see the barrels. And now he's sort of looking around very, very, very curiousand he's like, "They were here last time, right?" And she goes, "What? Yeah, they were. Well, where is it, Derry? Where'd you put them?" And I'm gonna think, Phil, because you're probably still on watch, or rather, you're actually no, because Abby, you're the one with the scout help. You're going to be the one that notices. Oh no, Cat. You're going to be the one that notices that. It's pretty scary, because up in the branches, you see some hanging figures, and it's almost like it's a swaying sort of creak in the branches, and at first they look like figs that are ready to drop from the tree, this big bush, but they're not. After another pelt of lightning lights up this area, you see that they are two barrels sort of swaying helplessly a little bit off the ground in one of the branches, tied on by rope. And then you also see that there are three other ones that appear to not have barrels, just ropes swinging. Until actually, one of them is not a rope. In fact, it's some kind of large lump. It's hard to distinguish until another pelt of lightning reveals dripping wet fur, as well as some sort of almost leathery like hide covering its torso. And you see in another flash pointed fuzzy ears and a long muzzle. And then you see another shape moving through the branches, and it is as horrifying as that previous one. It has two long arms that are, as you suddenly realize, are wings that are just these long flesh-like drapes that are clinging to one of the larger branches, sort of like angling itself so that it's like not gonna fall as it tears into what you think at for one moment a horrifying thought is actually another mouse, but instead it looks as though it's some sort of barrel, and there's a small crunch as you hear as it sort of like dips its face into the barrel. And you see Derry look up, and he sees it and goes, "Hi! Oh, what are you doing?" And Constance is like, "Oh, that thieving bat! You devil, you! Get him, Derry! Get him! Go get him, Derry!" And Derry starts to climb up the tree.
What?
And Constance goes for the other barrels, not seeing the other bat. "Derry, you get him! I'll get these! You wallop him, Derry! You wallop him!"
Constance! Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start, like, I don't know, throwing twigs or something at them to try to get their attention.
Not gonna happen. You're gonna either have to climb up there with nature checks, or you're gonna have to do something else. The rain and the thunder is deafening.
Oh, that's bad.
Daddy, get him! You're not doing any good. He's making a mockery of your boy.
God damn it, nature check.
All right. I will.
Got nature.
Tell me what you
6.
do. Tell me what you guys do.
Wait, what do you. What?
Tell me what
I'm
you
gonna
guys
do a nature
do. You have
check
to do
to-
something before either of them reaches those bats.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a nature check to try to grab one of them to get their attention to bring them back down before the other bat notices them.
All right. Who? You're only one mouse.
Constance.
Constance. Okay.
Yeah. Does anybody want to help me?
Unfortunately, no.
Nobody wants to help me.
Well, they can't.
Okay.
I mean, maybe they can, but they would have to make
I know.
nature checks of their own and succeed.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I can't. I have a nature of 1.
Yeah,
And
these are climbing checks as well.
Then. Okay, that's
If-
fine.
I was gonna say I have a nature of 4 if you want help.
It's obstacle 3
Okay.
because it's raining, because you're trying to get to someone, and because
Yeah,
Climbing.
you know, I think you got this with your nature of 6.
Okay. So I've got that, and then I'm going to use my. Let's see. I want to use my nurture check, but I want to use it against myself.
okay. How?
Well, because I see this tiny mouse who is obviously like climbing, I'm gonna go up, but well, then again, no, because it would help with the actual check. I just think, like, in the grand scheme of things being logical, it's probably not the best idea to go after this tiny mouse while there's that right there.
Yeah, your
But if it's for
logical
the actual
side is
check.
starting to like. Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could use this against yourself.
Okay. And it's an obstacle of 3, right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. And she's sort of, Constance is sort of yelling up to him. Oh, what are you doing waving your scarf around? Get something bigger! And he yells something back down, but now he's a little too far up for you to hear him. And she just yells back, "You're doing no good, son. You're doing no good." And she's trying to like untie some of the barrels, which would land rather safely. And she sort of is starting to nibble on the rope. What do you do?
I scurry up as quickly and as sneakily as I can. I kind of tug her foot, and I'm like, if she looks down, there's another bat. There's another bat. Get down.
Huh? What? Where?
Another. Just get down. Don't look. Get down. Come
Oh.
on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. And you see, you're very close to the bat right now.
Yeah.
That's sort of like folded on itself, and you can see its face now. Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
God damn it.
Ooh. Its mouth is sort of like half open, and you can see its tongue like hanging off of the roof of its mouth, and it just sort of like is rocking back and forth.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You move down. Now, what is happening with Derry? In fact, Constance asks you, "What about Derry?"
Look at him later. Right now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
All right. What do you guys do?
How high is Derry up the tree?
It's pretty high up there. The bat is probably, I'd say, like maybe 1.5 feet from where it is off the ground. He is nearing that place right now.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody needs to distract the bat and get the bat away from the mouse that is trying to get the barrels, because there's no way any of us are going to be able to get up that tree fast enough with the rain and everything. And there's got to be something we can do to distract the bat from the mouse, from Derry.
I'll try and distract it.
I'm doing my darndest right now just to get Constance down this tree.
You notice that her attention is split between Derry and getting the moonshine.
Oh, I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to tug her down. I'm going to try to like piggyback her off this tree because
I
this
think
is I'm not doing this.
okay. I think she's going to listen to you for the moment, but you can hear her sort of like hissing between her teeth.
Get him, Daddy. Get him. Go on and get him, Daddy.
Do you not see the back right above us?
Daddy's gonna scare him off. It's a drunk. It's gonna piss himself out of fright. You watch.
Uh-huh. And as I do this, I'm still kind of scuttling down with this stupid mouse at my back.
Yeah.
It's a drunk bat. It's just gonna scare him off.
What are you guys doing?
Elric's going to try and distract the bat from Derry.
How? It's ticking. The longer you guys
Okay.
sort of
Okay.
contemplate, the further he's going to get to the bat.
I have a question.
And then, yes.
If we have nothing, is there any chance that I could haggle the bat? You try to persuade the bat to like give up the moonshine, and
I'm cutting you off. You gotta pay your
No
tab.
more.
because I'm
Go
trying
home, bat. You're
or
drunk.
to like manipulate the bat into
Ah.
realizing that moonshine is probably not what it's interested in, and there's other things better. There's like better moonshine in other trees.
They can keep that moonshine
All
as
right.
long as these guys.
You can do one of a few things. You can do a hunter check, or you can do a lore mouse check to sort of try to engage in a dialogue with it. A hunter check.
Well, can't do that.
You could
Got it.
just roll beginner's luck.
What will the hunter check do for?
Really, it's just sort of to understand, like, it's basically you figuring out, like, well, this is how you fight off a bat. So
Okay.
it would be legitimately like, I gotta fight off this bat.
I will do a hunter check because I actually
gotta
have
drive it
hunters.
off. So I have Phil's roll, but then I have Elric sort of saying he's gonna roll hunter. What are you guys doing?
What do you think?
I will
Between
let
you
you
guys.
roll that. I will let you roll that hunter because I got.
You're rolling hunter.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, and it's gonna be a versus test. What is your hunter?
3.
3. Okay. Do you want to get any help on this? Cat.
I'll use predator wise.
Okay.
I'll use my wise. So
And after that, unfortunately, Ida cannot help. You are busy.
Yep.
With another mouse on your back.
I will-
Phil, how do you want to help, if at all? I mean, that's a bat. It's big.
And I use fighter.
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Then that's what I will do.
Oh. All right. So you guys draw your weapons as you clamber up the tree.
can I use a trait?
You can, yes.
Okay, I'll use fearless.
Okay.
So that should give me 6 dice.
I am concerned for all of you as I see you walking, like scurrying up with your weapons. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's messed up, yo. All right. Well, whenever you're ready, sir, I'm ready to roll.
All right, let's do this.
Cat has knocked over the mouse.
Seriously?
Oh, it's a tie!
Oh, nice.
All right. That means you have to roll your health versus the bat's nature. Cat, we cannot have this anymore.
Let's see, my
Bye,
health.
Moxie.
She is, unfortunately, all over it. Now, actually, here's one of 2 ways this can go. You could break this test in my favor by using a trait against yourself, and that means I win. You'd get 2 checks for the player's turn, though. Or, you can roll your health versus the bat's nature, which you know at this point is 5. And,
Yep.
and if you fail, you lose. And if you win, you win! And the bat gets driven off.
All right. I don't think we can afford the check. I mean, so I'm going to go ahead and my health is 5, so that would be what, 5 die roll?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Do you want to use a trait to help yourself? If you have any left.
Well, I've got Guard's Honor, in which case, because I'm protecting these two.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or actually, well, Derry in this case.
Yeah, he's going at it. You see, he's like pulled out like a club.
Okay.
These are not the smartest mice.
Okay. So go ahead, see if you can beat one success. Wow. Alrighty. So go ahead and explain to me what you do with Phil by your side to drive off this bat who is just going to town on this barrel. It immediately starts to notice that there's a little mouse approaching, and this mouse is unafraid and yelling something at it.
No, okay.
And you start with Phil. Both of you start climbing up there.
Yeah.
I probably should have made you roll nature, but honestly, I'm fine with this because this sort of factored into everything.
Now I've got a rope in my kit. So what I will do is make a lasso and lasso Derry and yank him back
Oh!
from the bat.
Okay.
I'll have Weasel's Bane drawn just in case, but that's what I will end up doing initially.
Okay.
And pull him away.
Alrighty.
From the bat.
When you do this, the lasso catches onto Derry abruptly, and it is like a startling moment when he teeters and actually falls. And you sort of have to brace yourself against the branch that you're on in order to sort of catch him, and you swing him down, and he just collides into the trunk once, twice, and then he just sort of rolls off and like grabs onto it, and he starts yelling something up to you, or maybe at the bat, you're not sure which, but it is vulgar, and it should not be said in a library, that you know for certain. Phil, the bat begins, it sort of like is caught off guard by this. You saw it flinch away, dropping the barrel in its like little like hooked, you know, yeah. I don't know what you'd call those, but that's what they are. And it sort of like starts to like mosey its way over, sort of like extending them to sort of like keep its balance. And then it keeps getting closer. It's like the little nose is like sniffing, and you can see its fangs quite clearly in this. This is not just your average fruit-eating bat. This, if it wants to, it could. And you, what's your weapon?
Sword.
Sword! You whip out your sword. You take a swipe at it. Where do you want to hit it, if at all?
I think I would try to, because it's like trying to sniff. So I'm thinking I kind of want to incapacitate its ability to smell. So I'm gonna aim for the little nose.
Alrighty, so you, taking your sword in hand, take a step forward as Derry sort of is yelling up at you guys through the rumbles of thunder and the flashes of lightning amidst this pouring rain. Just take a step and swipe your sword out quick as lightning. And the bat sort of recoils. You can't even see the blood, or if you struck, all you know is that you hit something and your arm is sort of like ringing with that tension of, I hit something. Oh, I hit something. And it recoils, and you can hear its little... as it sort of like keeps moving. Now it sort of like drops off of the branch. Its back legs keeping a hold on the branch until they slip off, and it immediately careens off. And you see it like flap its large, terrifying wings. It's a terrifying creature for a mouse. It is both furry as well as just a horrific sight as it takes off into the air, squeaking all the while. Its fellow also sort of notices this is happening and begins to flap away as well, knowing that this is a distressful situation for that fellow bat, it believes. And Derry is left sort of he's trying to get a grip, but his back is to the trunk and he keeps on like moving like this with your lasso. And he is going to town on this bat that is no longer here. What do you do?
I'm guessing Constance is still on my back. He's like, that's your dad, right?
Oh no, that's my big brother.
Oh, big brother? Yeah, your big brother is kind of stupid sometimes, I'm guessing.
Well, I can't refute that.
Just making sure.
I think
And
it's. I like to think it's the drink. Because he
That might be
makes it
too.
good enough to kill ya.
Probably not a good thing, but okay.
Well, no, but it sells well. That's why I made him stop drinking it.
Ooh, that's a good. Okay, at least you got him to stop drinking it. Hey, so we probably should have a conversation about moonshine in my library.
Oh, we don't drink while we're on duty. That would, I mean, you can imagine with the Rangnathan's colon classification system, it would just make a chaos of all of it.
Oh, you know that classification system.
But it's
Yeah.
you can't change from your roots.
No,
It's a family. Oh, somewhere we probably have a Mr. Ranganathanaka. Yeah, somewhere in there. But I'm afraid, like, there are all these fancy new systems, and I've looked at them, and quite honestly, you don't want to. You shouldn't change what's not broken.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey, do you know how old the Rathenbergen bombing system is?
Well, it's probably from before year zero.
Do you think that a system that has been around that long, with the inventions and the strides that the book classification system has come up with, do you think a system from before the year zero will still fit the needs of the modern mouse library?
Well, that's why you have a miscellaneous category.
Oh, honey. And I put my basket in my hands.
The colon classification never fails, especially when you have, well, that section.
My sweet summer child.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this library. It's going to be lovely. Come on, Daddy! Daddy, get down here! Get down here, Daddy!
And he's just like, I'm trying. I'm trying. And
How far is he off the ground for?
probably about less than a foot.
Drop. Elric maybe not accidentally lets go over the rope.
Phil, you see the rope slip out of Elric's paws, and thankfully mice never reach a deadly terminal velocity, so he falls and falls and then slams into the ground with a wet smack. Face down in the mud.
You okay there, Derry?
Bubbles.
All right, let's get going. I can't wait to show y'all my library.
Alright,
With
player's
it.
turn.
Before we
Classification.
leave, Phil wants to climb up in the tree and get one of the barrels.
That's what I was waiting for.
And
Yeah.
yep, I want one of those barrels. I want whichever barrel is the most full. I'm gonna scurry down the tree with it,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna.
Yeah, actually, there's only 2 left. Do you want to just get those?
I would love to, and I'm gonna see Ida look at me because I know she's probably gonna have something to say, and I'm just gonna say, after that, I think we all deserve at least some of this, and then I'm gonna climb up, back on my position on top of the cart. I'm gonna open up one of the barrels. I'm gonna dip my little mouse paw into it, and I'm gonna lick my little paw, and I'm just gonna wait for us to go.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, you don't even need to open these barrels to know how powerful this stuff is.
Yeah, y'all can do that. I'm good.
Mikhail's gonna love this.
Oh my god.
Oh man. All right, and you guys will be able to get to Tapper's Point perfectly fine
Perfect.
with these two new archivists in tow. Once they get there, they'll immediately set to work on studying what you have so far in this library of Tapper's Point. Do you want to deliver this moonshine to the cafeteria? Like, Mikhail is sort of like the resident cook. He sort of like does all the stuff there related to feeding the mice and giving them drink if they require.
I would love to, but I am first going to pull out a little flask, and then I'm going to pull out another one. I'm going to pull out two, and I'm going to skim off the top, as it were. I'm going to fill these flasks, and then I'm going to...
Your eyes burn.
Yup. And I'm going to return it, and I'm going to think to myself, these flasks will be nice for a rainy day, and then I'm going to go and hand off the barrels.
Okay. Mikhail, seeing these, you've never met Mikhail, have you?
Nope.
Okay, well, you've probably seen him working the kitchen. Mikhail is sort of this, he's sort of like a lean mouse with red fur, which is very rare. And he's wearing this apron and this little cap to sort of keep the bits he's cooking out of his ears, because, once you get something in there, it's horrible, especially flour. And he sort of looks at what you have and says, "Oh, wow. Whoa, what is this? Oh my god!" And he sort of like leans back and he goes, "Who are you? You're new here, right?"
Hi, my name is Philomena, and this is Moonshine. The two archive mice that I helped bring in had this up in a fig tree, and I figured as just payment for having to ward off a bat that we would bring this, and I figured you would be the best person to have it, because if I kept two of these big barrels full of this moonshine, I'd probably get myself in trouble, and the last thing I need is to do something to draw attention to myself from Guard Captain Arabelle or anybody else.
He nods, and he says, "This is amazing. You fought off bats to get this?"
Just one.
Just one?
Well, there was two, but I gave one of them a little love tap on the nose. And my little love tap on the nose sent him off, and because his friend left, the other bat left. It was actually, it was nothing.
Well, that's what happened when a bar clears out. Well, let me see. Yeah, this is fig. Oh man, no wonder the bats got this. If they don't get a ripe fig, yeah, the ethanol in these is potent. Dang. We gotta start doing this. Where's that fig tree?
I don't remember because it was dark and rainy, but I'm sure we could
It was about halfway between here and Fort Sumac.
Well, this is an excellent idea. Like, think about how we can make Tapper's Point stand out on the territories. Forget that weak cider shit. Oh my god. And he just looks like in reverence of this poison in front of him.
Mikhail, do you know what I think would be a great idea?
What's that?
I think you yourself should bring this idea to Quincy. I feel like Quincy would love this idea. You know how he's always into getting new ideas to bring new mice in.
I think I'm going to give this to him. I think this is a good idea. You've always had my back, Ida.
I got you, Mikhail. Just keep those grasshopper legs coming.
Philomena, you ever want a fried grasshopper leg? You come in here and you ask.
I will take you up on that offer. But my only concern is this. I would hate for this to get into the wrong hands. Can we trust this fella that Ida's mentioning?
Quincy?
Yeah.
Well,
Patrol leader Quincy.
ooh, from the way people are talking, it might be Mayor.
Better her than Biddy? Have you seen Biddy around here?
I've seen her a
Mikhail?
few times.
Have you ever talked
Not
to
as
her?
of late, though.
Hmm.
I hope she doesn't come back.
Knock on wood.
Mm.
But yeah, just keep an eye out. I heard something weird about her. Might be running for some kind of office.
Oof.
But
Well,
I don't know. I feel like Quincy, despite he's very enthusiastic, but he means well, I think.
I think he means well. I think he's just stupid.
Yeah.
And
but I
sometimes
wasn't gonna
in
say
a
anything.
public office, that can work. But listen,
You
we
need a bright,
we've
shiny face full of enthusiasm, but you need others.
we've gobbed our jaws enough. Let's drink some pooch. And Phil, you can go ahead and mark off your hungry and thirsty because you gave the moonshine to Mikhail. This is going to be like absolutely free.
Huzzah!
So, what would you guys like to do for your players checks? Abby, you have 2 because you used trade against yourself, I believe.
All right, for my first check, I'm gonna get rid of my hungry and thirsty. And since I'm here with Mikhail anyway, I'm gonna be like, can you hook me up with some food? I'm kind of hungry.
Well, yeah. Fortunately, we're starting to. Now that things are changing, we gotta do a barter system now. Until we get a mint, but you can still pay with a mint. You can make a resources check, obstacle 1.
Okay. Let's see what I got.
What do you got?
No, seriously, where are my resources? Oh, obstacle 1.
It's 2.
It's 2?
Well, mine is 2.
Oh, I was about to say mine's
oh,
1.
your resources.
Oh,
Okay,
yours is 1?
I get it.
My resource is the 1. I only got 1 resource.
Do you want to? Do you have any equipment that you might be willing to part with?
Actually, can I use my... Because oddly enough, I do have a resourcefulness trait.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds
look
like
at
you could use
that.
it. Go ahead and give
Yeah.
it a shot.
Okay. Let's see. We'll see what goes on here.
Well,
Oh, that was totally not in the right thing. Haha. Wrong chat. Sorry, guys.
I believe in you.
No.
Fate point? Oh wait, that's 1 success. You did it.
that's 1 success.
Oh, hey.
You did it. Yay! So,
I got some foods.
with these new guidelines in place, you sort of are like, have some like spruce duck coins that I'll never use. You can hand those to him, and it's sufficient. You are no longer hungry and thirsty.
Thank you.
While she's doing that, I'm also there. I'm assuming.
You are.
Can I would like to just kind of. Abby, describe to me what Edda's wearing.
She is wearing a slate gray guard's cloak with a little hood. At this point, I'm guessing it's quite wet. There's still like pieces. You can see there's little bulges where you see pieces of like scrap parchment paper and like quills. Lots of pockets.
Into one of those pockets, Ulrika is going to drop the locket without her noticing, or trying to have her not notice.
Okay. I don't know if this will take a check or not.
Yeah.
This is what skill do you want to use?
Let me see what I could use on this.
You could maybe use health.
What about a hunter check, or would it have to be like, because you're trying to be sneaky, right, and trying to?
Scout is sometimes the sneaky skill.
Okay.
So this would probably be a scout versus test.
Oh, so we'd both have to verse off on 2 then.
Yeah, you'd both have to verse off. Test your might.
All right. Yeah, I'm willing to try that.
No.
Oops. Let's see, and I don't have anything I can actually use, sadly, to give myself any sort of help.
Nope. Ugh.
Darn it.
It's just scout, right?
Just scout. You guys are just gonna have to roll and see what happens.
All right.
We'll have to
Round-
make our own interpretation.
Oh. Ho
Oh no.
Do either of you, Abby, do you want to use a fate point to reroll that 6?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Alright, go ahead and reroll that 6, make it explode.
No, I meant to paste.
You just need one more success, and you will catch this, Mr. Elric Ramathorn in the act!
Wahaha!
Ah! Stop right there! Hold
I
it!
see you. I see you.
She sees
I
you.
literally just like.
You're like in the middle of eating. He's taken this opportunity to try to sit next. Like, how do you do it? Okay, how do you do it, Elric? How do you try to do this? Do you like sit next to her, or do you like sneak up and try to like lift her cloak and just be like?
Oh, I was picturing an open pocket, so what he was going to essentially do was kind of just casually walk behind and just go to drop it in.
Mm.
But then obviously she's going to, you know...
I'm gonna say you miss, and it like clings to the floor. So Elric walks by, and you're eating this fantastic meal that Mikhail has given you. Very crunchy. Do you refuse the moonshine? He's offering it because you were in the mission.
Oh yeah, I'm refusing. I heard that it kills people. Ed has never been a big drinker.
So you all of a sudden hear this metal thunk at your feet. And you glance down, and sort of right beside your tail, under your cloak, is on the floor is that same little token that Elric tried to give you, and to your left is Elric, frozen in place, his ears and tail just stiff. With what do you feel? Embarrassment, extreme terror.
I'd say a bit of both in this case.
Oh,
Phil, you probably feel like that secondhand embarrassment. Like, oh, he messed it up.
Oh, so I'm sorry for getting all like meh at you before. Though, in my defense, this is right when I realized that like I had lost possession of the one thing that has comforted me since I came Stabber's Point. But no, it's okay. However, I thank you. I really do. It's very, very sweet. However, and then she looks at you as if trying to convey a message. Not really my type. No, Elric, you have to understand. Not my type. And then she lifts her eyebrows up like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Elric kind of like... Oh, and realize that, he realizes, and it dawns on her face. But the point is, it's like, I still want you to keep it. Because keep in mind, look inside. You don't look inside.
She opens it.
and you see a
What's
picture.
inside?
And you see a picture of Ellie.
Oh!
Your sister.
Alric, this is the sweetest thing. Oh. Thank you, buddy. This
You're welcome.
Oh, this. Okay. Sorry. Not really sorry though. In future reference, if you ever need like advice on asking somebody out, maybe wait until they're not having a breakdown. I'm willing to help, but this is so sweet. This is really good work. And you put a picture of myself. Hey, thank you. I'm gonna keep this. Okay,
You're welcome. You're welcome. He kind of pats her back a little as he's,
All right. Abby and Grinny, you guys have checks still. I think, because Abby, you used one of your checks.
Yep.
What do you want to do now?
Grinny, do you know what you want to do?
I do. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna sit up next to you and I'm gonna kind of lean a little because I have been enjoying the moonshine, and I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna say, "Are you okay, Ida?"
She stinks. This guard mouse, she's been. Oh yeah, she had some. She smells
Oh.
of figs.
No, I am doing much better, Phil.
I mean, cause I remember you didn't seem okay when the garden master Arabella, I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Guard
Arabelle,
master,
like captain.
yeah, guard lady,
Yes.
Arab, yeah, her.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You didn't seem okay when she said you were gonna lose the library. And I mean, I just want you to know that even though I just met you, that I appreciate you. And you're just really important to me and to the other mice in the guard. And she's gonna throw an arm around you and like lean more. And you're gonna kind of probably be a little disgusted because I'm really stinky.
Mhm.
I wish that was a condition.
Super drunk.
Super out of it.
Drunk. Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you. That means a lot. That means you. That good guard mouse, and I pat her head, trying to. Good mouse. Thank you.
You're pretty okay too, and I'm gonna like very like hardly like pat and like
Just
pause
smear.
Yep,
Do you want to make this a check somehow?
I do. I mean, I
What
don't.
skill?
I want to try. I was either thinking. I think I want to use Persuader.
Persuade her to make her feel good?
Yeah, I
Like,
wanna
yeah, you're losing the library, but like,
the library is important because education is important, and it's important to remember like the wars and the things that happened. And not everybody can use that. What was it? Hold on. And she's like scratching her head as she's trying to remember. I made a comment. Not very many people can understand the Worthen-Furthenbergen classifications.
Thank you. Yes, it's an old system.
It's just sometimes You just gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to show them. She's gonna wave over to the barkeep, make a little gesture. Like they've already
You just met him, and he's just like,
more moonshine. What else can I
got it, Mikkel.
and my friend, please?
I got it. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to pour some water into her glass. without realizing.
Okay, so here's what we'll need. You're gonna make a persuader check. You're gonna get +1, because you have supplies.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you have gear. Abby, roll me your will to sort of like take this lesson to heart.
Okay, I really want to take this lesson to heart because you need to remember the wars. The wars. That was so good.
The Ramashamangan system.
The Russian system. It's okay.
Okay,
Ooh.
so Grinny, you can use a fate point to re-roll that 6 and try to pop another success to win.
I will do that.
Do
You
it!
got this. You got this.
Do it!
1
Hmm.
D6, like nope.
No.
Under.
There we go.
Yeah!
A winner.
Go ahead and make a pass on that persuader, because you are rocking.
Etta is very charmed.
Etta, yeah. Okay.
All right, Phil.
I'm gonna
Feel better. Feel better.
So now that you have been bolstered by your patrol mates, what do you want to use your last check for?
I am gonna take Drury and Constance to the library and try to make sure that they know where things are at and that they understand my system, and we'll just see how it goes.
Go ahead and roll me Archivist. Obstacle. Obstacle 2.
All right, so I've got that. I'm also going to use. I'm going to use my. No, I need my traits.
You still have traits that you have not used? Everybody,
Yeah.
I feel like everybody burned their traits this session.
I only used one. I used nurture.
Oh, that's right, you used one against yourself as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and you also use resourcefulness.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to use this time?
Let's do. I'm trying to think of how I can use. I am going to use quick wit because I know that they're going to have questions and they're going to have a lot of snappy things to say
Oh, yeah.
about if they're not used to the system. So I'm going to use quick wit to try to convince them that this is an okay system and I made this, damn it, and it's a good system. And don't you go doing the Horgan Morgan Schmorgan system.
It's
gives me-
Rangnangdan.
Pregnagden.
Yes.
Pregnagden. I knew that. I was
Daddy,
making
she
fun of
can't
the-
say it, Daddy. And he goes, she can't say it. Well, she must be. What's that smell? And they realize you have that moonshine stench on you, and they are not going to let you help them unless you want to try to re-roll your successes.
No, not really. Because I have no successes.
No, they smell that moonshine from your good pal Phil, because she was real close, and they go, "Oh, I don't believe it.
Look at these guard mice telling us not to drink in her library. Coming
It
to
wasn't
show us.
me.
Derry, look. Derry, smell it. And he goes, oh, I smell it. It's rank. And she goes, I know, it smells delicious. Listen, darling. We love your input, but a lot of this is almanac work now and encyclopedias. We'll have a space for all your maps and your handwritten notes, but we're gonna start with the official system.
Okay.
We'd be happy to share a glass or two at that lovely cafeteria there, but I think we've got it covered for now.
Okay.
I mean, this is our livelihood. If we mess this up, you know, it's curtains.
Just. Okay. I can let go of the system. Yeah. I can let go of the system. Just be nice. I had to build this from the ground up. Just love it and take care of it, and I'll be back to look at stuff. Just yeah, it's take care of it.
Okay, mark that fail.
Oh, I also have one quick question. You guys never said where you are. You guys from Port Sumac?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Nah.
You just remind me of somebody that I know. I don't know. Maybe it's just the accent. Do you have?
We're far west. We immigrated.
Oh, okay. No, it just reminds me. There's another guard mouse here, and then
Ooh.
I don't even know where the Anne is, and I recognize your accent, but it's not a big deal.
Oh. Well,
I swear, if they are like really related to Tilly, they're not related to Tilly, are they?
I don't seem to be.
Okay, good. They have the same accent, and it reminded me of Tilly and Aunt Biddy's accent for a hot second.
They do.
Okay.
They kind of do, but you get the sense that there's also a bit of like they're
It's a bit different, yeah.
it's a bit different. Also, just because of the style that they refer to each other as, you get the feeling like it's much more personable between the two of them than the way they talk to you.
Maybe it's because I am on my guard since
It might be just
Biddy,
because
that
I can only
bitch.
do one kind of Irish.
It's okay. I'm just thinking I'm on my guard since Biddy, and I realized that Tilly might have some other family.
Yep.
Ah.
Well, everyone, that's the session. That is the player's turn. That means we are accomplished. We are successful in some ways. In others, we'll have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and get you guys some rewards, because gosh darn, you deserve it for all that happened tonight. Let's start with fate points. So, if you acted on your belief, as well as your instinct, you get a fate point for each of those. Did you guys do that? How do you feel about your instincts? How do you feel about your beliefs?
I'm probably gonna have to change my instinct at some point. My belief is still pretty.
I think my belief was pretty decent. Cleverness was applied properly for at least saving one of the other mice.
Of course.
Information is available to mice everywhere. Knowledge is had.
What about you, Granny?
I want to say yes by trying to pick a fight with the bat.
That's true.
Okay, then I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Fate points for each. Now let's move on to persona points, because gosh darn, those are the best ones. So, if you accomplished your goal, you get a persona point. What were your goals this session?
Mine was to leave the locket in Ada's possession.
You did it!
You
You
did.
accomplished the goal. You were so
I
sweet.
did.
You did. It's very true. Ida.
My
Or if you want to go, Granny.
Bill.
my goal was to comfort Ida and help her realize that she's an important part of Mouse Garden and important to me, and I feel real bad that my my stench got her in trouble, but
Oh, but it was so sweet.
I did it anyways.
It's like the help edit session.
I didn't need
Yeah,
some
like
help.
I started out like bam. You are that thing you cherish. It's not yours anymore.
And Etta doesn't even like the guard mouse that much. So her whole thing is like, okay, I'm gonna wait until I can retire to the library.
Yep,
Built this up from scratch. From
Yep.
Nothing.
it's gone.
It's all gone.
Not only that, they're using
The Hergen
That-
Blurgen
the
Fergen
Hergen-
system
yes, like the very first.
from year zero.
I
Before year
got a
zero.
new friend.
Oh boy. Well, what was
Edit-
your goal? Tell us now as I freak out because Drunkly Romantic followed me.
Hi, Drunkly. My goal today was to make sure that the new mice were fit to run my library.
Oh, did you?
I'm not sure.
What would be fit in Ida's perspective to run her library?
You guys are
It's gonna eat her up inside that the organizational system is changing, because for that specific collection and that specific book selection, the Hergen Blurgen system won't work. It's just not contemporary enough. But other than that, it looks like they know their way around books. They're bringing new materials and the new information is going to be available to more mice. It looks like they're pretty competent. So I guess
I feel like it's a hard decision. Bronze and Grinny, do you feel like the library is in good hands, as Ida wanted it to be?
I'm biased.
Oh! Because she's the one that would get this persona point.
See, I think they are. I think they are at heart. They are, but I mean, let's face it. They've got a little bit of a rebellious streak going on with the whole drinking and getting wasted thing on the moonshine, and
This little side business.
so. And here's the other thing too. So if they get a little too drunk on the moonshine, who's to say they're actually going to keep it in order?
Don't you even say that. Don't you even suggest that.
Sorry, I gotta do it.
I just want to say yes, so Ida can have her persona point.
I mean, I feel like Phil really respects her. So,
Oh, thank you. But honestly, like, if you guys are just doing it for like my sake and the persona points, I don't really need them. It's just literally your opinion of these two mice. Keep that
I
in
mean,
mind.
I also got really, really drunk off their moonshine.
that's
so
true.
Right.
We don't know what was truth and what was fig juice.
It's true.
I think I'm biased because they've got some really, really good moonshine, and I feel like maybe if I say, you know, you guys with your Warden, Bergen, Schmergen,
The Wergen
Ragna Mandan.
yeah,
Ragna
think- I
Mandan.
think I
Ragna
had-
Mandan.
I'm sorry.
Ragna Mandan.
with your Ragnarok.
With your Frackle Rock system.
Yes.
Your Muppet sister.
I'm gonna say yes. You can have that persona point because number one, they got out safe.
They did.
At least someone is looking after your library.
It's true.
MVP, tell me, who is the most valuable player?
I don't know. Browns?
I'm thinking.
I know. I think Grinny did
I think Grinny did a pretty good job. Yeah.
Grinny did a lot this session.
Okay.
All I did was get drunk and swipe a bat upside the nose. But
That's
I feel like
what
if
saved us.
we were voting for Workhorse, I would say Grinny because she not only led you guys, or you did the circle test, then you helped with almost every
Yeah.
test as well.
Yep.
So I feel like if we give Phil the Workhorse,
Mhm.
that would be
Yeah.
acceptable. But we have to now judge like I'll just say both Elric and Ida had important parts to play. Elric took care of the bat in his physical, like, sword manner, and lasso, apparently. And Ida, you climbed up there and got her before the bat, like, noticed.
that's true.
I don't know. That lasso was pretty badass, though.
Can they like split it and get 0.5?
No, I'm gonna go.
No. I feel
I'm gonna
like
go with
I feel like
Elric.
Ida should get it because
She had a
Elric,
lot.
she did a lot, and not only that, I feel like there's a lot at stake for her.
Yeah, in this session, yeah, I agree. Because I mean, I felt like you feel the pathos for her character, especially when it's like, hey, by the way, this thing you love, bye bye.
Sorry.
And
Yeah.
then
It
Then you
really
get-
like yeah. I was super like it. I was actually kind of excited to hear at the beginning of the session because Etta hasn't really
Agreed.
gone through anything super
And
deeply
like
emotional.
you've been built like this campaign has been going on since like the first third of the year. You've been trying to build this library since then, and this this is like a community game. Like Abigator plays often, but like that's still not as often. There are a lot of player check turns poured into this library, and now it is gone.
It's going to make it for a very interesting arc in her character. I
Same.
think I'm very interested.
she flips a table.
To
She
be fair,
flips Tapper's Point.
All of Tapper's
to be fair, if I was Ida and I was told that the thing I loved was no longer mine, I probably would have let the bats just
I have a new friend.
That would have been an interesting turn.
and
Been some Tamil
See,
18. Thank you.
Then they would get somebody else to come in, somebody who might be more incompetent.
True, true.
And even though they don't like my Dewey Decimal System that Melvin Dewey created with a staff of organizational righteousness, it's okay, whatever.
It's true.
Okay.
No, Ishman, the whole library is like, it's good, but the administration, the librarians, they unfortunately do not include Ida, who built the library. So that's her. The stuff she built is still there, but someone else is running it. So yeah, let's go ahead and give the embodiment award. So each one of you, bada boom, gets an embodiment award. That's a persona point.
One of these days,
One of these days.
not everybody's going to get an embodiment point every single time. Everybody gets the embodiment point. One of these days, you're going to be like, everybody gets the embodiment point except for you, Abby. I thought that you were really off your game today. Just
I don't know.
not today.
We'll have to find out. But in any case, I think we're done with this session. We had a wonderful continuation of this fantastic campaign. So I'm going to lead us onward. We're going to visit someone. I want you to send the love. I want you to bring the Possum Posse all the way over to Bubbernut. Bubbernut, who has always been an absolutely enchanting individual. Truly enchanting. He's making maps right now. I want you guys to go and listen in. Go ahead and watch him do his magic in Roll20. And just let him know that the Forefront is always super grateful for how wonderful and nice he is and all that stuff. Let's go ahead, get this going, raid that Bubber. And I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, that's right. Friday, we're gonna do Out of the Abyss. That's D&D, 5th edition. Sunday, we're gonna do Festival of Colors, D&D, 5th edition, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. We're gonna try to hit 7 o'clock on tomorrow, or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because Thursday. Yeah, so yeah, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, Out of the Abyss. Sunday, Festival of Colors, and then Tuesday again, and Thursday, we're going through the whole rigmarole as usual. I think that's it. Guys, go forth, do good things, and just be happy and love each other. Cause gosh darn, I love you. And, I don't know, go save a possum or something. Bye. I love you. I guess? Bye-bye!